This Sunday, time now for Keller at Large.
Here's Jon Keller.
Well, good morning and Merry Christmas to one and all. Well, this is the time of year, among other things, when early admission decisions start landing in mailboxes all over our region. And that, of course, triggers a serious challenge for those of us who are trying to pay for college for our kids and loved ones. Let's talk about the politics of higher ed funding and the present and future of higher education here in Massachusetts with our guest this morning, the president of UMass, former Congressman Marty Meehan. Mr. President,
John,
welcome.
Great to join you.
Merry Christmas
Merry
to you
Christmas.
and yours. So this has been a rocky year for higher ed around here. Boston University took over Wheelock College because they were failing. Mount Ida College shut down, and just recently Newberry College, which had sort of encouraged stranded Mount Ida students to go there, they're also closing up shop. What is going on and what's next?
More closings, for sure. I mean, there are small private colleges that are dependent upon tuition. It's increasingly difficult for them to survive. Their price point is higher. They're not elite in that they're not nationally ranked universities. So in the demographics, there are fewer people from New England and Massachusetts graduating from our high schools. So that number's coming down, putting pressure on those institutions that, in some cases private. I believe that in terms of planning for the future, publics have to look at this issue too. Demographics. So how do you get around it? The competition is fierce for students. And one of the things that I know that the Department of Higher Education, and one of the things we learned from what happened with Mount Ida, is we need colleges to come forward earlier. We need students and their parents to really think about the financial health of a university or a college before they attend. The Attorney General is looking at some of these issues. So this is something we need to be focused on because there will be more coming. In fact, almost every week or two, there is some institution in America that either merges with another college or closes. What
about public universities and colleges, community colleges?
Let's talk about UMass. UMass, we have set a record for enrollment this year, over 75,000 students. We have an advantage in that our price point between $13,000 and $15,000 at our undergraduate campuses is still competitive. But there's still a challenge.
Tuition.
But that's just tuition.
That's not including fees.
That doesn't include, well, that's tuition and fees. It doesn't include room and board.
Okay,
so if you want to board at a campus, that's another $12,000 because there's no state money involved with that. But there's challenge. I think, look, disruption is coming to higher education. It involves the publics as well as the privates. I think making sure that you are committed to excellence. I still think that economic and social mobility is one of the most important issues facing the country, and Massachusetts in particular. UMass is a vehicle still to get more people engaged and involved and get them degrees.
Well, Marty, we hear so much about the student debt crisis, but just recently at a meeting of the UMass Board of Trustees, Robert Manning, the chair of the board, said, quote, "We don't have a student debt crisis in this country. What we have is a graduation rate crisis," end quote. What did he mean by that?
He was looking at a study, he's over at MFS Investments, a study that showed that half of the student debt in this country is taken up by people who never got their college degree, which is a crisis, meaning they don't even have the capacity to take advantage of a college degree, which means higher wages and being able to pay back a loan. And so I think he was illustrating that, but it's still an issue. John, when I attended UMass Lowell, I was able to work on weekends and in the summertime and pay for my college. It's nearly impossible to do that today, even if you attend the University of Massachusetts. So we put $1 billion into financial aid this year. We want to continue to put more money into financial aid, but it's a challenge. I'm looking at expanding online education. I've been working with the Board of Trustees. We can find more affordable way for people to get the credentials they need to get jobs.
Well, let's talk about more answers to this crisis when we continue our conversation in a moment with the president of UMass, Marty Meehan. So please stay with us.